Okay, so this is going to be a pretty simple video showing off some of the most broken interactions that people have discovered so far. So number one is Ashe. So Ashe's passive, if you don't know, gets extra damage from critical strikes. So she previously always had her thing was getting a smooth scaling on crit rather than the exponential damage crit used to give. But what Riot have overlooked with Ashe in particular, let me just spawn a dummy as well. Spawn an enemy dummy, turn off minions. Where is it? Minion spawn. Okay, so the thing they have missed of Ashe is the interaction with Rageblade. So Rageblade converts your critical strike damage into on-hit damage. But not with Ashe. So, right, let's build a mythic here. I don't know what I'm really doing here. Let's just grab the Gale Force, some random crit items, legendary. Oh, you can't buy both of them. Let's sell that. This gives crit. That makes sense. So let's show off two items. What do two items do? This is, although people are building Rageblade second, it's this overpowered. Spawn a few more dummies because we've got rune ends. Here we go. This makes sense, right? Roughly 218 damage, a little bit more. So this is relatively simple. Makes sense, right? Not too much complicated interaction going on there. But Ashe's passive is the math is a little complicated. Attacks against enemies affected by this ability deal 140% damage. That's because her crit scaling. But now, if you buy Rageblade, her crit now gives massive on-hit effects, and her DPS has absolutely exploded just from one extra item. So, Rageblade is doing 135 physical damage on hit, with no other cost to Ashe's crit damage from her passive. So, yeah, pretty simple video here, just showing you how ridiculously absurd this is. In a lot of normal games, people seem to be rushing Rageblade after what's the most popular build? It's looking like some people still building Blades of the Ruin King because they're bad at the game, but a Mortal Shield Bow into Rageblade seems to be the current overpowered item rush, and Ashe just makes it ridiculously overpowered. So that's settled around 740. And let's compare Rageblade to a similar item, say you bought a rapid fire cannon instead. So what, like, compared to a normal extra crit item, you're having an extra 80% damage, maybe? Like, I don't know, maths, 400, 700, it's close to maybe 75% extra damage. But anyway, that's absolutely insane, and just abuse that while you can, and watch out for Ashe's building Rageblade. So Rageblade is actually hitting close to a 70% win rate as a second item on Ashe. So I really feel like this interaction is going to get maybe even hotfix. This is utterly broken. So Fizz is next up on the list of champions approaching 60% win rate. Now this is a little less clear as to why. So Fizz is rushing Proto Belt, and as far as I can tell, Proto Belt is just an incredibly efficient item. It gives everything Fizz really wants, and it also gives you a big speed boost. So it's a pretty strange item towards enemy champions. So I guess the real advantage of this is, well, I mean, this is huge range. Up someone, then you speed up, and then put the fish on them. I guess that's super fast. Like, what's that movement speed? 520. Okay, yeah, this is why Fizz is broken. It takes me like 2 seconds to work that one out. Good job, Riot. So you throw the Protobot at the direction, then just walk up to them and put the fish down. And on top of that, it's a cheap item. And then Fizz's next item he loves, which is an Hourglass. Hourglass is now 2,500 gold. Geniuses, right? Making one of the strongest items in the game even stronger. There you go. And he's also can buy the massively buffed Lichbane. This gives more AP now, gives movement speed, and a really strong spellblade effect. So imagine this is you. Fizz now walks up to you, point blank, in the face, and absolutely nothing you can do to avoid that. So yeah, that's why Fizz is super busted. That's ridiculous. Protobelt is so good for Fizz. This is ridiculous. Like, he turns Fizz into pretty much point and click. How do you avoid that? If you're an immobile champion and Fizz has done this to you, he's suddenly zooming. Let's try it with boots as well. How hard is it affected by the movement speed cap? Where the fuck are my boots? Give me sock shoes. So, what's the range in it as well? That is incredibly long range, so let's teleport over here. Teleport to cursor, and you are a unsuspecting enemy on all the way over here. And I'm going to do that. Well, look how long that range is. How do you escape from that? That's ridiculous. Towards champions, but it seems to have... I'm not sure if this is a bugged range or something. I think this is bugged. Because, look, it's just, there's no range on towards champions. I can do that. And then, from out of vision, I'm suddenly zooming up to you. So I think from the bush to the other side of the lane is the best example. Fizz is now in your face, ult, and yeah, you're just fucked. So yeah, Fizz is the next one on the list. So I think the last race isn't going to be quite as exciting, because it's, well, you'll see in a second, but it's more he seems to be massively overstated than a really bugged interaction like Ashe or Fizz with Protobelt. Okay, we are on to Mr. Rock Solid with Malphite. So I suspect, rather than being incredibly obviously broken, it's more Malphite is just turning out to be really strong with all the items he gets. What exactly is this Sunfire Aegis doing? Deals 30 damage per second. That's pretty high, I guess. Like, it's a pretty efficient aura. Your attacks burn nearby enemies for immolate damage. He's getting a lot of free CDR from the Sunfire. His overpowered build looks to be Sunfire into Thornmail. So let's look at the sort of stats he gets from this. So he's going into Thornmail next. And maybe pick up some tab eyes, plated steel caps. So he's sitting on 225 armor. Let's put a few higher levels up. I don't know if that's the right order to level things up in Malphite, but there we go. So he's hitting big armor numbers, but it's pretty standard for Malphite. So I guess Malphite is just being unkillable in... I'll tell you what it probably is. It's probably Malphite is being played in tons of AD assassin teams. So perhaps this one isn't such a great example, but he's got such a massively outlier win rate. I want to talk about him. He's actually hitting over 60% as standard, and that includes the apes playing AP Malphite. So Armor Rush Malphite seems to be getting closer to 65% win rate. Please never play AP Malphite, it's so bad. So I think it's mainly just this massive Sunfire aura. Malphite is unkillable, and he's also doing his classic job of absolutely murdering any ADCs unfortunate enough to get close to him. Let's check his wave clear. That's... I suppose I've over-leveled myself compared to the minions for now, but it's still pretty ridiculous. So he's clearing them incredibly quickly, which I'm feeling like is more a result of everything being low-leveled compared to me in this game so far, but it's worth noting how high this Flame Touch is doing. I think that's mostly it. Burning nearby enemies to immolate damage per second for 3 seconds. Yeah, he's also getting a ton of CDR, or ability haste. 22% cooldown reduction without really trying to get it. Yeah, I guess I maybe don't want to go too hard on analysing Malphite. I think Fizz and Ashe have much more broken reactions. I think Malphite is just doing a good job of abusing everyone taking AD assassins and full AD teams, but he also seems super strong. He's got the highest win rate in the game right now, but this may change. I feel like that's just Malphite abusing... Who wants to play Malphite when you've got so many fun toys to play? He's just abusing people trying to have fun. So if you want your free LP right now, Malphite top lane, full tank, seems to be one of the strongest picks. Is there anything else I want to talk about on Malphite? Not really, he's pretty simple, does his job. Cool, thanks for watching.